Hey, you ever been forced to do something you don't want to do? Well, for me, it was hunting out of a ground blind because I've been opposed to it for many, many years. But I gotta say, after I did it, what an experience. I mean, there's so many benefits and reasons to hunt out of a ground blind. So for people like me, we're hoping on today's show, we can change your mind as well.
Condition, lights out, stomping all competition. My utmost to his highest, it gets no flyer. We set the mainframe on fire. Boom, cold red, feel the lead from the pedal. I push to the metal, the dust never settles. F5 level, kick up the bass and the treble. Cause faith, that's a rebel. I can show you the devil. I blaze a trail like the rays from tail light sound, shaking the ground like earthquakes and hail might. Someday I'll die, but not tonight. Excuse me while I light up the sky.
We grew up in Texas hunting in box blinds on the ground, usually that are numbered on a ranch. We're hunting tower stands. We were hunting with the rifle for a long time when we were young. But hey, times change, and the most modern way to hunt right now and the way to be able to get away with the most is hunting from ground blinds.
I remember the first one, mainly for turkey hunting is what I used it for, and you could get away with murder in that thing for turkeys, but for deer it was a different story. Started bow hunting, I was, building platform stands and trees where it was loud. I was using the climb-on stands in like the piney woods. That's the way, that's the only way I knew to bow hunt, and I loved it, and just being there in the element. Problem was, we got into some El Nino years, we had tons and tons of rain. It was so unpredictable, and now on top of that, we're trying to film these hunts with TV camera equipment, and we can't do it when it's raining. The rain is what made us get the ground blind out. We thought, you know what, let's try it.
And so we started trying it out, and I gotta tell you, I was skeptical at first, but it only took a few hunts. I tell you what, once we started being successful, shooting deer out of the ground blind, it was hard to get back in the tree. We like to mix it up, but man, we're sure able to get away with a lot in the ground blind. People ask me this all the time. Do you feel that you can get closer to these deer in a ground blind or a tripod or hang-on stands? Without a doubt, a ground blind. We are getting within 5 to 10 yards in some cases of these deer when we have the wind right. When everything's right and the deer don't know you're there, they are coming within 5 yards of the blind.
One of the things that I learned about putting a ground blind up is you've got to put it up well in advance. And it also depends on where you're hunting. Where I do most of my hunting out west towards the hill country, the deer will get used to the blind as long as it's been there for about 2 months. It doesn't seem to bother them. Now there's other deer that don't frequent that area a lot, that last time they're there it wasn't there. They can still get kind of cagey and spooked by it, but they notice the other deer are calm, and that usually helps. There's often times where I've got a big deer I'm trying to get on, and I'm not having success where I'm at for bad winds, or there may be a dominant deer in the area that's running my deer off, and he's moved to a different location, and I'm trying to do everything I can do to get on that deer. Well, here's the problem. You can't throw a ground blind up and hunt it that same day. It's not gonna work. However, if I can find a good place that I can cut the woods out or get it sunk in the woods or back inside of a tree where there's a bunch of brush growing around it, and cut as minimal limbs as I can to get it in there and try to brush it in the best I can, and maybe just have one window that's not too big to try to shoot out of a video. Sometimes I've had that pay off the first day that you set it up.
You know, I love hunting the ground blinds for the whitetails, and they have good eyesight, great hearing, unbelievable sense of smell. A lot of people don't know that you can get away with as much or more in a ground blind when you're hog hunting, because hogs don't see nearly as good as whitetail. Now, their sense of smell is far superior and their hearing is really good, but their eyesight is what I feel is one of their biggest downfalls, especially in mid to low light conditions. If you have the wind in your favor, that's one advantage, but also it's dark in that blind. A lot of times you're able to get a shot off on these hogs because they can't see you in there. Comparative to a whitetail, if you move a little bit too much, or if there's a little sunlight coming in through the window or whatever, that whitetail could bust you. But on a hog, many times, especially early in the morning or late in the evening or as it goes into the nighttime, they have no idea you're there. Yes, man, we turned in a crazy hunt with all this rain. Had a couple of deer in here earlier, they ran off. Saw a huge hog, kind of started to leave, but it got back on our corn trail and the buck oil. It came right there where I was hoping a big buck would. That's a big hog, and I hammered him. He's dead right there. I knew he crashed in this bush right here. I mean, like I say, he went 5 yards, more like 10, I guess, but here's my arrow right here. Here's the hog. I mean, he is right there. I knew he crashed right here. This is a big boar. Look at this thing. Look at this head on this thing. We came over here to hunt for a big buck that I'm after, and I saw this big boar over here, I don't know, about 80 yards away, and he found where we had made a little corn trail and put the buck oil, and he came right to it. I said, Chad, he's coming. And I mean, he was there. A failed deer hunt turned into an awesome big pig hunt. You know, every year Chad and I are racking our brains and comparing notes on what bucks are even going to be mature enough to possibly shoot or hunt, for that matter, on our place. We were trying to find a mature buck that early season we thought that we could get on. And, you know, we're really excited to see a truly mature 6.5-year-old buck. It may be 7.5, but this is a buck that is a mainframe 8-point. He was already missing a brow tine. It was early season. This buck was coming to Kim's ground blind. It's an elevated ground blind on top of a ground zero base. There's a feed station close by. We had been putting the buck oil out, putting the corn out. The deer found it. So once I knew that he was coming every evening, that's what Chad and I do. When you see repetitiveness and the deer's coming in the morning and the evening, but if it's coming more in the evening and you kind of can figure out a pattern, that's what you need to do, is come up with a plan to get on that deer. And here's the deal. You don't have much time. You have a little window of time to make that happen. That's a broken brow tine. He's out. It's good blood here. Right by the tree. I know he did not go far. I mean, that's the runway. Oh man, he's right there. Good eye, Chad. Wow. Hey, his body is as big in person as we thought. Look how big the body is on this thing. Hey, we know this deer is at least 6.5 years old, maybe older. His rack never did much. There's not much mass here, but look, for a bow kill, this is a great bow kill. Great buck to take. This is a true management buck, and I smoked him. He only ran 45 yards. Great deer.
Man, I'm so glad that Scott's got this buck on the ground. We've been trying to get after this deer, scratch him off the list. Hey, now it's my turn. This particular year, it's the most rain we've ever had. And hey, thank God for the ground blinds, right? Because wouldn't have probably got any hunting done. There's so much food and acorns, and they never stopped. It was like one acorn tree would quit producing, another one would start producing. We didn't know what was going on. We thought the deer left our property. We couldn't find a deer. So now it's late December. I still haven't got a deer. I'm just trying to even get a buck, thinking I'm not going to get one. It was my last opportunity to go up. Lo and behold, we're sitting in the stand, and a nice buck walks in, and he acts like he owns the place.
Yes, he's down. Oh man, he went like 20 yards. I hammered him. That is the bull of the woods. It is my last day to hunt this season. I have not seen a mature buck until just now, and I just got him. Well, as you can see, he didn't go very far. Man, that shot tore him up. This is a healthy deer, so to have one fall and film that close to the blind, that's something else. I mean, this is a warrior, man. He's got big, huge areas of hair missing everywhere. Had a scab right here where I shot him. He's got scars all over the ears. At one point, he was trying to intimidate the other bucks in the area, and he fluffed up, man. You could see all the wounds and scars, all the years. The scars would tell all the battles he's been in, but I can't believe the last day I get to hunt this year, and I got a big, mature buck came in on me. Made a good shot. Nice 10-pointer. Doesn't get any better than that.
I can tell you right now that the ground blind is one of the biggest assets that we have. It's changed the way we hunt, there's no doubt about it. Whether it's getting more shot opportunities, containing your scent better, or keeping you out of the elements, getting so close to these animals, for me personally, there's nothing like it. And frankly, that's what I love about the ground blinds.
On today's show, The Elusive crew is showing us about the importance of ground blinds and how changing the way we previously think about some things can open up a whole new world of opportunity for us. I know it personally. I love to hunt ground blinds. Obviously, I hunt here in North Florida a lot. There's a lot of canopy here, and sometimes a tree stand just doesn't work, and ground blinds are the perfect solution. But you know, it's not just true in hunting. It's also true in life. As a pastor, I see people that kind of have a preconceived idea about God and about Jesus and about church. And sometimes they have this idea that church is the place where pretty people go with their nice, neat little perfect lives, and they go to just celebrate their perfection. But let me just tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. The church is not the place where we go once we get it all figured out. The Bible says that the church is the place we go and we bring all of our baggage and all of our hurts and all of our disappointments and all of our darkness, and we bring them to a God who loves us just as we are and wants to be involved in our daily lives to help us figure it out and find the hope and the peace and the joy that only He can give. I'm so thankful for that. And if you have not experienced that, and if you had this preconceived idea about church and God, I just pray that maybe today you think a little bit different about it. Give God a second chance. He's waiting on you and He loves you. If you'd like to know more about a personal relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, just go to elusivewildlife.com. Click on that Moment of Truth tab.
Cut me